Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi alladhi hadana bi'abdihi al-mukhtar wa da'ana ilayhi bil-idhni wa qad nadana labbayk ya man ahlana wa hadana. Salla alayka Allahu barika alladhi bika ya mushaffa'u hassana wa habana. Ma'a alika al-athhari ma'adini sirrika al-asma fahum sufun najati himana. وعلى صحابتك الكرام حماة دينك أصبحوا لولائه عنوانا والتابعين لهم بالصدق ما هدى هذه المودة هية الأشجانا وبعد. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends good for anyone, He gives them a good understanding of the deen. And our most respected and honored learned scholar, Fadilatul Shaykh Dr. Hafiz Ather Sahab Hafidhullah, he gave us a very, very important and tremendous piece of advice regarding the nature of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and tying it in with the Quran al-Kareem. Only echoing upon what Dr. Ather Sahab spoke about. If you notice, he mentioned something extremely important which many a man and woman in today's day and age seems to be lacking. And it's a very tremendously sad situation to say this, but many a Muslim man and woman seems to be lacking this. Character. Character. This is what the Prophet ﷺ emphasized upon. Indeed, if you look at the prophetic traditions, you find in the collection of Imam al-Bukhari and the Sahih of Imam al-Muslim, when the mother of the believers, Sayyidina Sahal ibn Hisham radiyallahu anhu, he narrates that the mother of the believers, Sayyidatina Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she was asked by the younger generation regarding the character of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. كيف كان خلقه? كيف كان خلقه? What was his character like? And she says, ألا يقرأ القرآن? Have you not read the Quran? كان خلقه القرآن. His character was the Quran al-Kareem. Meaning what? Perfect in every sense of the word. Divine. Full of tremendous nature. Full of advice. Full of guidance. Full of goodness. Nothing but khair. Nothing but goodness. In the whole being of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Whether you look towards his outward or his inward. Perfection. The perfect paragon, the pinnacle of perfection. And this is what every single believer, in particular during the Mawlid, what we should do during the ihtifal and Mawlid An Nabi, during the gatherings and the celebrations of the remembrance of the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what we should do prior to anything else, make an intention that you're attending the Mawlid An Nabi Sharif to attach yourself back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Throughout the rest of the year, we've been stained and tainted with all sorts of different beings, whether it be from mankind or any other kind. Meaning our character has been put through all sorts of phases and it's become stained and tainted. And we become individuals who are often harsh towards one another. We become individuals who don't look towards the goodness of one another. We become individuals who always hold each other to account, forgetting ultimately, ultimately we do forget this. Is there anyone apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has the right to hold anyone to account? Is there anyone apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who ultimately has the right to judge? Which is why we connect back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who teaches us that character, a polished character, a character which is shining, a character which is bright, is not only useful in this world, but it carries you to lofty stations in the hereafter. Ultimately, this is what earns the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A good character, this is what earns the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For a person with good character is not going to want to miss the Salatul Fajr. Because ultimately they will have a good character towards Allah. Sincerity towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person with good character is not going to look at bad faults in individuals, rather they're going to remind themselves كلهم من آدم وآدم من تراب. This is what they will remind, is it not? That everyone comes from Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Everyone, and Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam was made from this earth. And this earth has many different molecules and properties and atoms attached to it. And many different colors and many different formations. Yani earth, around the whole globe, it's all earth, but it has many different colors and many different natures. Some are hard, some are soft. Yes, some are brittle, some are wet. And we're all from Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam was made from earth. Reminding us that you are not going to find al-insanul kamil except in Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Quran al-Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Hafiz Muhammad Razvi, the son of Allama Khalid Sahab, who is inshallah going to graduate today as a Hafiz of the Quran al-Kareem. Allah make all of our children become Hafiz of the Quran, and Amil of the Quran, and Alim of the Quran al-Kareem. The Quran al-Kareem, in reality, is the manifestation of the perfection of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And ultimately, if you want to look at the seerah, the biography, the way of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, foremost look towards the Quran al-Kareem. In every sense of the word. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is not separate from the Quran al-Kareem. The manifestation of the Quran is within the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sayyidina Abdullah radiyallahu anhu was asked, how would you have been guided if the Quran wasn't revealed? He in return says, what kind of a question is this? We would have gazed at the face of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and we would have been guided. This is guidance enough for us. And the face of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been spoken about in the Quran al-Kareem. The blessed hair of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been spoken about in the Quran al-Kareem. The physical features of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam been spoken about in the Quran al-Kareem. The description of the facial features of the Messenger being spoken about in the Quran al-Kareem. Sayyidi ala Hazrat puts it down to what? Kaaf ha ya ain saad unka hi chehra noor ka. Kaaf kesu ha dahan ya abro aakhin ain saad. Kaaf ha ya ain saad unka hi chehra noor ka. We all read the Quran al-Kareem, but do we all have the attachment to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where we understand the Quran al-Kareem to the extent that the Quran ultimately is here to guide us. The Quran al-Kareem ultimately is here to perfect us as individuals. The Quran al-Kareem is the way forward for every single believer. And this is the only way forward. Meaning what? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And in particular today's day and age, when many are Muslim living in the Western world, we're clouded and surrounded by thousands of ideas. Your salvation and my salvation lies in the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hence these gatherings that we have, the ihtifal al-Mawlid, the celebration of the Mawlid of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is to remind us that regardless of where you are as a Muslim, regardless of where you are as a Muslim, the Prophet is there for you. Are you there for the Prophet? That's the question. Are you there for the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Meaning, when you're alone, when nobody's around you, do you uphold the deen of the Messenger? Within your households, within your daily surroundings? Are you someone who is sincere to Allah and Rasul? Do you want to get up in the middle of the night when the rest of the world sleeps? Sallu bil-layl wan-nasu niyam, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at night when the rest of the world sleeps. Are you there for the Prophet? This is supporting the deen of the Prophet. In the Quran al-Kareem, we have been given the command to support the deen of the Messenger. In your daily dealings with one another, are you there for the Prophet? Meaning the way you speak to one another, the way you treat one another. Is it in line with the prophetic nature, with the prophetic character or not? Just echoing upon what Dr. Ather said, finding good in every single being. Look at the narration when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, during the migration, during Fatih Makkah, and as they were approaching Makkah al-Mukarramah, try to understand this. I'm not going to say try to picture the Prophet. No, try to understand this. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam On the north part of Makkah al-Mukarramah, entering through the gate, 50,000 companions are with him. And on the other side, he's ordered Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, you enter through the other side. So Makkah al-Mukarramah is being surrounded. Now we're talking about thousands of men upon camels and horses, marching forward. Fath Makkah, the opening of Makkah, the conquest of Makkah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Man wins a football match in Britain today and you're jumping on the street like you've actually won something. Yes, this is what our youth do, Muslims. This is what we do. Big celebration. Oh, man got burned hundreds of years ago. It was going to blow up Parliament and you get happy by burning logs and fireworks, celebrating as if something made a difference to your life. This is what we've become. Are you there for Rasulullah? This is how your Prophet reacted during Fatih Makkah. The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him, that point onwards to the morning of Qiyamah, Ya Rasulullah, every single being is going to hear about you. And your name is going to be sung in the heavens. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If there is something worth celebrating, it's him. But what does he do? Look at the character and the nature of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Shama'il of Imam At-Tirmidhi, he records the narration. On that particular day, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, do you even know this about your Prophet? I don't know nothing about our Prophet. But do we know this about our Prophet? What colour turban was he wearing? If I ask you what colour shorts was a man wearing in Manchester during a football match, you're not even going to tell me the colour of the shorts. You tell me the colour of the t-shirt, the colour of his hair, how many hair he has in his beard, and how much it was bought for and how much it was sold for, where he comes from, who his mother, mum, dad, everything. You know everything about him. What colour was the turban of your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of Fatih Makkah? Yani the day of opening Futuhat. He sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wore a black turban. And he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the narration states, he had 4 plaits in his hair that day. His blessed hair was long, 2 plaits came here, 2 plaits came there. And they hung over his blessed shoulders. And he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sitting on his blessed, what we call the heavenly transport. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he lowered his head before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of humility, to the extent where his blessed beard touched the back of the neck of the horse, out of humbleness towards Allah. And he said what? Laqal hamdu ya Rabbi wa laka shukru ya Rabb ala hadhihi ni'mah. I praise you, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I thank you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for this ni'mah, for this blessing that you have given Makkah al-Mukarramah rightfully back to the children of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Humbleness, but Makkah became Makkah al-Mukarram once again through the entering of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is this not worth celebrating? One last point here, during Fatih Makkah, what happened that shows us the manifestation of beautiful character. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, as they were about to enter Makkah al-Mukarramah, he notices that there is a dog. There's a dog. And these narrations are often not even spoken about. These narrations have been forgotten like they don't exist in our glorious history of Islam. There was a dog and there were some puppies that were feeding from their mother on the floor. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam commands the Sahaba, change the route, don't disturb the dog that is feeding its puppies. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam changes the whole course, the direction of thousands of companions who were following him because of a dog. That dog is neither here, neither there. That dog isn't even going to be brought into account on the day of Qiyamah. That dog will turn to dust on the day of Qiyamah. This is the character of the Prophet ﷺ, that he looks after the welfare of a dog as well. Do we look after one another? Allah give us the ability to understand the deen the way it needs to be understood. And I give from the depths of my heart, mubarakbat, congratulations to Hazrat Allama, Hafiz Khalid Sahab, Hafidahullah, at the graduation of his son. May your son become your hereafter, inshallah. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah.